Hi everyone, my name is Jim. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Evermarkets, and we're building a decentralized futures exchange. How many of you here have traded futures? Anyone? Only a few. Okay. So what a future is, it's a leveraged product where people put in collateral to access stocks or commodities or bonds. They can really represent any underlying asset. And the key difference there is you put up maybe 5% or 10% of the overall exposure, and you can trade the full 100%. And so just to give you a size of the markets, so everyone here understands crypto markets is relatively small at 400 some billion, and the total fiat markets are closer to 6 trillion. And from fiat, you can buy, stocks and bonds, and those markets are at 200 trillion. And then ultimately, the derivatives markets are much larger. They're over at 1,000 trillion. And what we want to do at Evermarkets is to give people with cryptocurrency the ability to trade and access both the global capital markets and the global derivatives markets. So why Evermarkets? Well, we want to build a peer-to-peer, decentralized futures exchange with on-chain settlement and clearing. We want to democratize access to all markets. So anyone with cryptocurrency can now access global equity markets, global commodity markets. We want to provide this exchange with institutional level liquidity. So we're gonna be our own internal market maker for the platform, and we'll have a external market making platform program as well. So we want to not just build the exchange, but to get many people to trade it by seeding it with liquidity. And then, as you'll see, we'll spur innovation in the contract creation space. So anyone can now create contracts for any specific risk that they want to hedge or asset they want to trade. So some ideas thrown out there are like an Ethereum gas future that you can now trade, both long and short. Maybe a cryptocurrency index future. So we'll create a basket of top 10, top 20 cryptocurrencies, and now people can trade that as well. They can go long and get exposure to the entire basket, or they can go short and hedge their exposure. So just to give you an overview of the team, so the founders are from Carnegie Mellon. We study computer science and computer engineering and have known each other for the last 15 years. But then we all ended up in finance. So I was a trader at Citigroup and a portfolio manager at Graham Capital for about 10 years in New York. Mark started his career at Citadel and then went on to Knight and then a few other high-frequency trading shops. Craig is our CTO. He started his career at Microsoft. He was there for 5 years, and then he joined AQR, and he was the lead research developer for this $200 billion hedge fund for the last 7 years. So the rest of the team includes people we've known for quite a number of years. Jack also went to Carnegie Mellon. Eric is our lead blockchain developer and has been in crypto the longest. And his claim to fame is getting in at Bitcoin at 25 cents. Jerry, he was an advisor for us, and now he's working full time as our chief operating officer. He spent his career at NYMEX, CME, and the traditional exchanges, and helped start some of the commodity exchanges in Dubai and a carbon exchange. And finally, we have Evan. He's our VP of engineering. He spent 13 years at Microsoft, Amazon, and he was lead, architect there, managing a team of over 100. And then Ryan just joined us from, FCMs like Gain Capital, or he was also the president of Tradeovate. And so that's our team of 8. And we have several advisors, but I think what's probably most interesting, and I won't go through the rest of the slides because I only have about 10 minutes, but what I want to show you is the platform we're building. So we've been working on this for the last year. I started Evermarkets last April, And we've been developing this platform, this exchange, to be launched in Q2 of this year. And what we're building here, and I'll show you a few of the specific contracts we've launched. So I mentioned we're trading futures, and we can represent any underlying asset with the smart contracts that we've written. So here we have equity index futures. We've launched commodity futures like oil or gold. You can trade single stock futures using our platform, and also crypto futures. So we'll have futures on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins as well. And I mentioned the cryptocurrency index future. We'll have that as well. I mentioned the contract creation. So this is how anyone can create contracts. You can define what you want to trade. Define the certain margin requirements and parameters for this contract. So if you want to trade like a future on like Alibaba that's not traded here, we can just define, just set the contract parameters, what fees you want to take, choose your oracle. This publishes the expiry price at settlement, taking real world data and publishing on chain. And then our smart contracts will use that price to return everyone's collateral. And once you do that, you can launch this, and now anyone in the world can trade. I want to show you how a trader could access our markets. Let me make this a little bigger. Cool. So we use our own token as the means of settlement and collateral on our exchange. So this EMX wallet is our private wallet, and in order to start trading, we need to fund our account. And this account, we'll fund it with some tokens from our private wallet to the smart contract. This is MetaMask asking us to confirm this transaction. And this is an actual transaction that's being sent to the RinkB testnet. So we're on RinkB. So this is Etherscan, and you can see this is the transaction from our private wallet to the smart contract that holds the collateral. And so once that's posted, it takes about 15 seconds. We can now start trading with the deposited funds. And so here we're going to trade S&P June 2018 future. So we'll put this on the order book. The order book is centralized for now. So this order book sits on our servers, but the money and collateral, it's all sitting on chain. So it's decentralized collateral, custody of collateral, decentralized settlement, and clearing. And so what the smart contract keeps track of is everyone's positions and everyone's available collateral that's backing each trade. And change traders here. So this trader's long 2 contracts. Let's go long another contract. Alright, so this is sitting on the order book. When we have more traders on there, it'll be dynamic. It'll be, just like any other market traders will see. But one difference is we have this auction process, so this auction process crosses traders periodically. So instead of a real-time book, you don't get filled right away. You wait. We'll have periodic auctions maybe every 5 minutes or so to cross all the traders at once. And so in one function call we can cross hundreds of thousands of traders. And this is how we get around the the limitation of the Ethereum chain, which is what we're building on. And so I guess I didn't show you here, but we were long 2 contracts before, and now we're long 3 contracts, and we have more collateral that's tied up, and this collateral cannot be released until someone exits the trade. And so this is this is our beta. This shows you the possibilities of peer-to-peer futures trading without a centralized clearinghouse, and that's how futures trade today. There's one central entity that sits in between every single futures trader. And with smart contracts that we've written, we can replace that entity with code that's running on our contracts. And I guess with that, are there any questions?
So are you doing futures only? Or
only futures. Okay. Only futures using our token as the collateral.
Right.
So there's no fiat involved, and there's no need for any one entity to hold your funds.
So you're doing market making as well?
Yeah, we'll have an internal market making team.
So part of the money you're raising will be used to do that?
That's right. So most of the funds we'll raise, a lot of the funds we'll raise is for the market making team. So we have a ICO. We're in the middle of our pre-sale right now. We're raising $50 million, and most of that's for the market making aspect. We understand that building exchange isn't sufficient to attract liquidity, so we're going to spend the money that we raise to market make.
What are the initial futures you're focusing upon?
We'll list a few crypto futures, Bitcoin, Ethereum, this crypto index future, and maybe 1 or 2 CME contracts like S&P 500 and oil. So we'll release more and more contracts over time, but those are probably some of the initial contracts we'll launch. Yeah.
You consider the token as a security or a utility?
It's a utility. So our view is that the token we launch is used to access the liquidity on our exchange. So we don't pay any dividends, or we don't give you any benefit other than accessing the liquidity. Any other questions?
I'll go for it.
Go for it.
So how does the token work? Can you give us an explanation? What are the economics?
So the token has a certain value, and you can use that token to post as collateral when you want to enter this trade. So if you need a certain amount of collateral, you need our token to post onto the smart contracts. And then after you've posted, then that's when you have a position on.
Right.
And then when you get paid out, all your P&L is also in our token. Any gains or losses.
Okay, what are the economics for if I buy a token, if I participate in the ICO, and I buy tokens, what's the economic model around that?
Well, there's a fixed supply of tokens, so there's no inflation, and then people need the tokens to trade on our exchange. So
right, so they block them as long as the futures contract is underway, right?
Yeah, you use it to access to trade. You need it post collateral. One thing I didn't mention is the decentralized lending. So there's a participant on our exchange called the Margin Syndicate, and what he or she could do is lend their spare crypto to our traders in exchange for a fee. And so this allows people to earn interest, earn carry on their idle crypto in a decentralized way.
Okay.
So obviously the exchange rate with your token is
it's going to move.
Fixed.
Sure.
Yeah. So but the futures are based on a value in a local currency.
Yeah. So on the CME it'll be dollars. On the various exchanges it'll be local currency. Nikkei it'll be yen. But so are you wondering about the volatility of the collateral?
Well, the volatility of the exchange rate of your currency versus the price that you're putting.
Sure. So we have ability for our traders to hedge their collateral. So they can go short an EMX USD future, and they'll be protected on the downside. And that's how we, eliminate the risk of, the volatility of our token. So they sell some upside, but they also protect their downside.
Could you define when we will be able to trade on your platform?
Sure. We are aiming to launch this in Q2 as a beta to the public. And then we'll have a trading competition where we'll get people to use the system, test the system before we go live probably second half of this year.
How many people do you aim at bringing into your platform, using it for the future, like every day, or like just as a
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a great demand for derivatives exchange within the crypto ecosystem. Currently, there's no very good or stable or even decentralized exchange for trading derivatives. And so we think there'll be great demand for this. Initially, we don't want too much demand. We want to, stress test our system. So that's why we're doing this beta launch. And then we'll hire a dedicated sales and marketing team to source users and traders, and also market makers. So there'll be many people that'll be able to join our platform.
What kind of competitors today?
I wouldn't say there's one single competitor. There's a few focus on very specific. Like there's BitMEX that does crypto futures, but they're a centralized exchange and they only focus on crypto. There's some decentralized token exchanges coming out, but they only do token-to-token exchanges, decentralized. So no one's really tackling this broad, industry, this futures trading industry from the ground up. So we have the exchange, we have the decentralized clearinghouse. This is, something that we don't see, anyone tackling right now. Takes, expertise and experience from all sorts, from all types. So we have a team that have traditional finance experience, blockchain development experience. So we brought together a strong team to put this together.
And what are you looking for in order to launch a project, except money, and maybe what kind of money, or what are you looking for when you're talking to us?
Yeah, so I
What are you
think
expecting?
we just want to educate, the crypto enthusiasts out there that, you can use crypto not just to hold it and hold tokens. You can actually use it for a real use case, which is trading, investing, hedging, global assets. So this is what we want to do, build for the crypto community. But then our ultimate goal is to launch this exchange or offer this exchange to banks and hedge funds who don't have an alternative right now. There's only one futures exchange in each region. They're virtual monopolies. So in the US there's the CME. In Europe there's Eurex and ICE. And that's pretty much it. You don't have that much competition out there. So we're gonna innovate, we're gonna compete, and we're gonna build this new exchange for the world.